Welcome to the NBA's greatest games. Today, we'll take you back into NBA history and relive one of the great matchups as it happened. It is always very...
And how on the thinnest of margins these things can turn. What if Michael Jordan makes the last shot of regulation Friday night? Well, then it's 2-0 Chicago, and maybe the Blazers are just coming home to die. But he didn't, and the Blazers won by displaying the very qualities they allegedly lacked: resourcefulness, poise, and clutch play in the absence of their star, while it was the defending champs who committed the untimely errors of judgment and performance. Are the Bulls still thinking of the Jordan technical that started the unraveling? When Danny Ainge enters the game, will it bring flashbacks of the way the veteran led the unlikely comeback from 10 down with 4.5 left? In Terry Porter, will Chicago see the three-pointer that finished them in overtime and quieted their long flight to Portland? Yes, the atmosphere has changed, and now Portland is poised to seize control of a series they were nearly counted out of. For Chicago, this could be a hard week of playing uphill against Blazer Mania, with Pippen hurting, Cartwright showing his age, and even Jordan overloaded. This is the latest and sternest challenge for the world champion Chicago Bulls. All of Portland is in the throes of Blazer Mania, a condition first diagnosed in 1977 when the franchise won its first and to date only NBA championship. 15 years later, the fever still rages. This is part of the crowd that greeted them in the wee hours of Saturday morning when they returned home after the series evening victory in Game 2 in Chicago. It seems as if this entire town is caught up in this series, but only 12,884 are lucky enough to have seats in the NBA's smallest, and many would say loudest,
an opportunity to
arena.
knock out a couple big jumpers in regulation time, but came up short on each one. Michael Jordan, 4 for 10 in regulation and overtime, had a chance to win it in the end of regulation, but he missed badly. Jordan also affected when the concentration was broken due to fatigue. The Bulls' defense affected by the fatigue factor. A slow, late rotation of Duckworth enabled Kevin to knock out the tying jumper in regulation, and then a number of easy scores, which usually doesn't happen against the Chicago Bulls defense. So fatigue reared its head.
Best of 7 NBA Championship Series. Back with the introduction of the lineups in a moment. City of Roses on a 73-degree day, and basketball very much in the air. For the introduction of the lineups, we join Mike Stone on the public
Welcome to the Americas. Here are the starting lineups for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. First, for the visiting Chicago Bulls. Starting at one forward, out of Central Arkansas, 6'7", number 33, Scottie Pippen. At forward, from Clemson, 6'10", number 54, Horace Grant. At center, 7'1", San Francisco, number 24, Bill Cartwright. Out of Notre Dame, at guard, 6'2", number 5, John Paxson. And at guard from North Carolina, 6'6", number 23, Michael Jordan. The head coach of the Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson. And now, your Portland Trail Blazers. Starting at one forward from Longwood College, Virginia, 6'7", number 25, Jerome Kersey. And the other forward from Maryland, 6'8", number 52, Bob Williams. At center from Eastern Illinois, 7'00", the Duck, Kevin Duckworth. And one guard from Wisconsin, Stevens Point, 6'3", leader of the pack, number 30, Terry Porter. And at guard from Houston, 6'7", number 22, Clyde Drexler. The head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Rick Adelman.
And now to a man who is enjoying a homecoming in this area as a one-time star running back at the University of Oregon Ducks. Let's go to Amon
that they have ever had, and hopefully they can bounce back from that and play well again today. One other note, Marv, is a lot of people had some concern over Scottie Pippen's wrist by the way he was shooting in Game 2. I talked to him just before the game.
Obviously there was a malfunction which is being taken care of. Apparently the horn in the 24-second clock, which is operated, working on fixing it, and hopefully it will be only a short delay, and apparently they have solved the problem. Big hand for Clyde Drexler a moment ago, who bounced back with a strong game in Game 2, although he sat out the last 9
times during the course of a season where a key player goes out and you're forced to use other people, and they learn to play better with one another. A similar question that Chris Ford had to answer up in Boston regarding Larry Bird. Are you better with Larry or without? You want your heavy artillery in there. There's no way they win the games they've won over the past few seasons without Clyde Drexler. It was just happenstance. The players stepped up and produced in Clyde's absence.
And Clyde Drexler, 26 points, 8 for 20 from the field, 10 for 10 from the line, and came out in very aggressive fashion. So we're set for Game 3. Game 1, it was Michael Jordan with the record for a finals ball game, 35 points in the first half with that 10-point lead in the final minutes, not able to hang on, and despite the fact that Drexler went out on fouls, Danny Ainge, 9 of the 17 in overtime to help lead the Portland Trail Blazers to the victory. Well, the scoreboard has been raised to its proper place, and we are set to go. Officials Bill Oakes, Ed G. Rush, and Mike Mathis. And the call, Chicago ball, last touched by Portland.
Big concern by many people, the Bulls' ability to bounce back after the devastating loss in Game number 2. Did they have enough time to get themselves straightened out in their heads and immediately go down?
And the foul called on Chicago to put Kersey on the line. It's called on Pippen.
If you think back to Game 2 when
Cartwright going to work. So Bill Cartwright, foul committed by Horace Grant.
Grant picked up 2 quick fouls in Game number 2 and eventually had to go to the bench much earlier than Phil Jackson.
Porter through the double team, was able to whip by, and he drew the foul.
18 and a half games in the 2 previous games against Chicago. He has only 5 assists, and it's unusual when you think of a point guard having only 5.
And the Blazers struggling at the line, but not defensively. They've come out very aggressive.
What was missing in Game 1, it came back in Game 2. An aggressive Trailblazer defense.
Oh, Pippen spotting Grant. He had the open jump.
In the season led to so many scores. Kersey up in the passing lane trying to deny Jordan. Winds up causing the turnover, and then it leads to an easy Clyde score.
Duckworth. Nice move.
Feels so good about it because he wants to be a main contributor. He loves it here in this city.
Well, that's what he said. He wanted to correct the perception of the statement the other day. Jordan able to stuff for his first field goal. Now, we weren't there. Reportedly said that he wanted out of Portland, but he claims that was not the case. As Drexler hits the 3. And the Blazers lead on the interpretation. Here's Porter with another beautiful move around Thompson.
That's the concern that 43 minutes, 14 points, a big jumper to tie it in regulation, and 8 rebounds for Kevin Duckworth.
He did struggle. Portland came out, missed its first 3 shots. They've hit their last
down the floor, basically said if it comes back to Michael, so what? That's where the long outlet look came from.
Jordan using the screen. So Cartwright,
whether this is a long-range effect to wear Michael Jordan down or not, he's had 3 people defending him so far.
Drexler getting inside. He has 7 points.
And I was saying the 3 people have been Drexler, Porter, and Kersey on Michael Jordan already this basketball game.
Action.
People felt, hey, why not stay with those guys, the reserves instead? Phil went back to his starters, who he felt more comfortable with. Eventually, the loss obviously opens the door for criticism.
Here's Drexler. Air ball handled by Kersey. Gets it back again. Finds Drexler. Feeds Williams. It is Portland by 3.
Understanding what this Trailblazer team is about, you have to live with some of those shots, understanding they come up with second and third efforts.
Scott Williams may have gotten a foul on the Blazers. It's a hold. Charge to Drexler.
You may question some of the hurried, quick perimeter shots that this team takes, but they get after it. They work at getting the ball back. There's an air ball. They got it.
7 from the line.
Cliff Robinson checking in.
Cliff Robinson will replace Jerome Kersey. Grant trying to break the tie. 4:22 left, first quarter. At the guards, nice play by Pippen, stripping Robinson. 3-on-2, Pippen all the way. The Blazers 17. Duckworth set the pick and roll. Yes.
Same shot, he rotating over, trying to block it. Grant got there a little bit late in game 2. That time was closer, but still, nice jumper that time by Kevin.
And John Paxson buries another jump shot Friday night. 4 of 7 from three-point land. Robinson works his way in, rechecked it by Williams with the steal, and then flips it out to Grant. Horace Grant able to hit, and he drew the foul. What a pretty pass tossed by Jordan to ignite the break.
So much of the Bulls' offense comes as a result of in game number 2, they produced only 5 steals overall. Jordan, without even looking, understands that he's got big men that can run the floor. You got Grant finishing, and just in case he misses, Scott Williams there to follow back
the
up.
record that was held by Bill Laimbeer and John Havlicek. Blazers down by 6 off a 11-2 run by Chicago.
1 for 5 from the three-point line after the first 2 games during the season. A 34% three-point shooter.
Michael Jordan beginning to heat up. That's his 3rd field goal. He has 6. And the Bulls lead 27.
By coach, a little runs by Portland. Phil takes the timeout. They come out, set up. Jordan knocks out the J, takes the crowd out of it, settles everything.
Oh, beautifully done. Robinson with the perfectly timed pass for Drexler.
Well, the one thing, the timeout.
Portland trailing by 3, 1:45 remaining first quarter. They double up on Pippen. Williams had it knocked away, able to recover, finds Jordan. A broken play that...
But you know what? Rick Adelman was drawing up something special also, the lob pass to Clyde Drexler. And then Scott Williams finds himself in the unusual position of decision-making. Well, I'm not quite sure that's what he wanted to happen, but what did happen was very nice for Chicago.
Call for the foul, Scottie Pippen. 2 of 2 from the line. So Chicago has opened up by hitting his first. Scott Williams.
It looks like Michael almost was inviting that. Didn't run real hard at Danny Ainge. Kind of said, well, let me see if you can knock out another one from behind the three-point line.
Bulls by 6. Jordan changed his mind. There's Grant off to the fast start. He has 11.
He can't elevate last minute, drop it down. He has to believe right here that Grant's going to make the roll. The last second he drops it off after drawing the double team.
And Buck to the line, fouled by Scott Williams. Buck Williams had a very strong game on Friday in Chicago.
Get into the flow, and a guy like Buck who works so hard, he's going to have good numbers at the end of the game.
And Bobby Hansen has checked in, replacing Michael Jordan. Jordan sits down with 8 points, 3 assists in this series. Hansen and Armstrong now in the backcourt. Grant with Pippen and Williams up front. Chicago with a 6-point lead. Shot clock at 4. Here's Pippen. Strong move by Scottie Pippen.
25 feet out, then it was a pass and go. Move without it.
Final seconds of the quarter. Robinson with another air ball, and that is the end of the first. Here in Portland, the Bulls 34 and the Blazers 26.
Smart basketball. Pippen had moved without it after he passed it. Then it's a matter of just going to the basket, getting it back, and the left-handed conversion by Scottie Pippen, the bad wrist.
Ahmad Rashad back at the Portland Coliseum. Now, after game 2, Michael Jordan told me not only was he disappointed in losing the game, but it was the most exhausted that he had ever been. Just with a couple of minutes left to go in the first quarter, Bobby Hansen was coming in for Scottie Pippen, and Michael said, no, let me go and sit down. So he looks exhausted right now. Marv?
All right, Ahmad, it was during the course of that series against the Knicks where it looked like at times Michael Jordan was worn down, lost his legs. He did go through a series of injuries, and then in the series against Cleveland, he had the congestion problem, fighting off a cold, touch of the flu, but he's been strong the last week, although, as Ahmad just pointed out, he was...
Michael Jordan in Hanes briefs. Michael Jordan in new improved Hanes briefs. The new comfort of Hanes briefs. Better fit, better feel, better than ever. Just wait till we get a Hanes on you. Now buy 2 packages of Hanes underwear and the new video Michael Jordan Airtime and get $5 by mail.
Has Danny Ainge and Enos Watley now in the backcourt. Clyde Drexler. Watley rejected by
Team
Williams.
defense starts with an understanding of when someone needs help. Right there, Watley getting set to shoot it over the top of a smaller B.J. Armstrong.
Early second quarter, and the Bulls lead 34-26. Scottie Pippen. Pippen has 9 points.
Post. As a result, when the lob pass took place, Mike Matthews saw the shove, team a man without the ball.
Timeout taken. The Bulls lead by 10. Shot well.
The real base
of 24. Clyde Drexler sitting down now after picking up his second foul. Clyde has shot well, 4 of 6 for 9 points. While Chicago, 5th Chicago advantage, their biggest lead of the game.
Unusual shot, meaning that normally Chicago doesn't take those hurried, quick shots. But when the initial pass took place to Pippen, or do you just pull it back out and let the defense catch up? Coaches understand which players have the ability to make good decisions. They live and die with those guys.
Scottie Pippen is now 4 of 5 from the line, 10 points. Michael Jordan, who, as Ahmad related to us earlier, has been on the tired side. Similar situation to what took place in the overtime game on Friday, and he has been sitting out. Robinson. Duckworth. Tipped by Robinson. Cliff Robinson had missed his first 6 field goals. Horace Grant leading the way for Chicago with 11. And you check out his entire stat line is down. Trailblazers have gone into a funk here in the second quarter. Michael Jordan is back, and the Bulls continue to get to every loose ball. Porter thought he was pushed by Pippen. Pippen for Grant. And the Bulls now lead 42-28. The Bulls got back on the transition. Ainge met by Joe Point, finding Porter. The high man is Grant. With the left
Cut that
Chicago.
high post man. Porter ran his guy off. The guy happened to be B.J. Armstrong. Produced an easy score.
Foul committed by Ainge. That's his first. And a timeout is called with 6:33 to go. This crowd looking to urge the home club on.
3 assists in favor of the Bulls.
That foul called on Grant. Robinson being played by Cartwright. guarded by Livingston. A lot of dribbling, not much happening for the Blazers, and they turn it
Read
over.
the defense.
Exactly.
You don't have get rid of the basketball, except if you're Michael and want to make something happen off the dribble.
Cartwright trying to set a pick. Drexler able to brush by Armstrong. B.J. Armstrong with his first field goal.
Big shots. Great.
And the Blazers are not making their shots. Block.
One of those hairline
Did
calls
receive
because
that from Cartwright. And Cartwright is called for his. Scott Williams, a couple of block shots, 4 rebounds. 32. They isolate Jordan on Drexler. Armstrong at 3, and Phil Jackson goes to his bench. Scottie Pippen has been resting for a while, as has
that
John
opened it up
Paxson.
for the look to Buck. Unfortunately, the defensive player got a hand on it.
4 minutes to go in this first half. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad. Later on at halftime, will be joined by Bob Costas and Quinn Buckner. Here's Robinson, and he is fouled. Robinson.
A little double team action here by Portland. To be very cautious with the way they bring the basketball up the floor.
Pippen. Scottie Pippen extends to a 40.
Strong. He has great position and very, very good hands. And you feel secure when he goes up that he's going to come down with it. To go to it here with Ainge matched up against Pippen. They're gambling on the fact that Scottie won't be able to get him down low in the post area. They're gambling on the fact that he'll stay expressions, the flops on the floor, the
Williams
look,
to
the
a
expression.
from the line. The other night we talked about how far he 11 with just under 3 remaining in the half. Michael Jordan. Yes. 10 points for Jordan. Very well aware of number 23 as he sends Drexler backpedaling. Clyde has played him well here in this first half. Now Pippen try to back Ainge. Shot clock at 2. Jordan for 3. Rebound King. Well, I know one of my favorite moments this season, Czar, several weeks ago in a feature handled by Inside Stuff. Ahmad Rashad went up against Shaquille O'Neal, a little one-on-one, and then it was Shaquille's turn. He whipped by Ahmad, and funny thing happened. Shattering the backboard.
Is that all
the
you got?
subject of Ahmad and Shaquille. Let's go to Ahmad, who has his one-on-one partner alongside him.
All right, Marv, you know, the score when we played was 1-1, so Shaquille has come all the way up here trying to finish that game. You're looking for me, right?
Ahmad is lying. The score was 5-1 when I ripped the backboard down. The score was 5-1. No lie, no lie. No lie. The score was 5-1.
We do have more baskets in Portland. We can finish this up.
It don't matter to me.
We'll do that later, Marv. I'll keep you updated on what the outcome is.
5-1. Remember that.
Oh, coming up at halftime, Shaquille will join Bob Costas, and you'll hear more about
LSU,
probably
Shaquille O'Neal, who is all but a lock to be the #1 pick in the June 24th NBA draft. The draft, by the way, will be held right here in the Coliseum. In fact, Michael Jordan came up limping.
Jordan coming down right here is where he winds up. Right there, steps on Buck Williams.
A minute 40 remaining in this first half. Drexler for 3. Clyde Drexler hitting his season. In fact, Scott Williams, who has played very well, passed him by. Here's Ainge. Yes. So the Chicago lead.
Well, to show you how good the defense has been for Chicago, without those last 5 points, they have 37 points. In game 1, they had 51 at the half. Game 2, 54 at the half.
A traveling violation of the basket. As I mentioned, they'll be joined by Shaquille O'Neal.
Free spread set or a high pick and roll.
Jordan. Yes.
They ran a 2-for-1. They tried to get a quick shot in a hurry so that when Portland comes back and shoots, if they can secure the defensive rebound, they will get one more shot attempt. There's about 4 or 5 seconds differential between game clock and shot clock.
Ainge passed on the 3. Here's Drexler. Good feed from Williams. Final seconds. Pippen got it off. Good finish to the second quarter for the Trailblazers. They conclude with an 8-2 run. Michael Jordan, 6 of 10, 12 points. Clyde Drexler, 6 of 8 for 16 points. So at halftime, it's the Chicago Bulls leading the Portland Trailblazers 54-45. Coming up, the halftime report with Bob and Quinn. We'll be back in Portland in a moment.
Halftime at Memorial Coliseum in Portland, the Bulls leading the Blazers 54-45. At one point, the Bulls had a lead as large.
All right, here's Bird. Drexler all over him. He fires. It's a three-pointer.
They're blessed with size, speed, and power. They're the best shooters, rebounders, and passers the USA has to offer. 11 NBA players and 1 collegian. A collection of talent that staggers the imagination.
The competition in the Olympics is so exciting because it's the top level in the world, and it's just a great honor. I think people can't really understand it until they feel like they're the one person representing a whole country, and every time people look at you, that's what they see of the United States. So it's a thrill.
Every year you can win some basketball games, or you can win, you have a chance every year, but the Olympics only come along every 4 years. That's why it's so magnified. And then to get a chance to represent your country, but it magnifies it more.
You see the players go out there and they compete for the United States, and you see them win the gold and standing up on that platform and watching the flag being raised up and the national anthem being played. And, anybody that doesn't dream that someday that could happen to them isn't paying very close attention, because it's a thrill.
This is going to be totally different just from playing for the city of Chicago. But when that time comes, I know it's going to be probably the greatest moment in my life.
For some, a gold medal would cap a fabulous career. For others, like Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, and Michael Jordan, it's a chance to strive again for Olympic glory.
When I got the opportunity to play in the Olympics when I was in college, the dream started to come a little bit closer to reality a little bit. And when I made the team, it was a real fulfilled dream, and I just wanted to cherish it. And now I get to do it twice, and very rare people get the opportunity to do something twice of this stature.
I always thought it would be nice to play on the Olympic team, and that's when only the amateurs were allowed to participate. I thought it would have been a great opportunity. And now to get this chance as a professional, it doesn't get any better.
There's going to be a group of guys that are very focused and going over and getting the job done, and Americans are very proud to be considered the basketball country. And I think it's up to us now to go over and show the rest of the world that we are number one in basketball.
It's a true world championship. When you win that gold medal, you've defeated everyone.
Whenever you put that USA uniform on, we're not talking about a silver or a bronze, we're talking about the gold. So it's added pressure, but it's a good added pressure that we look forward to.
Right now, it's Drexler versus Jordan for the NBA title, but their debut as teammates is just around the corner.
Let the games begin.
We'll be back right after this. The Bulls and the Blazers ready to go in the third quarter of Game 3 of the best of 7. Scottie Pippen, high man for Chicago, with 14 points. Good first half for Horace Grant. 13. Michael Jordan, 6 for 10, 12 points. And Clyde Drexler leading the way with 16 for Portland.
And if you are Chicago right now, you're very happy with the distribution. 10 players played in the
guys,
first.
by the way, all in double figures. Only one player, Drexler, in double figures for the Trailblazers.
Portland shot only 5 of 17 in the second quarter. Duckworth, Kevin Duckworth, an invisible first half. 0 for 2 from the field. And got himself in early foul trouble.
Well, these first couple of minutes now are going to be very important for both of these teams. This is a very hot building. The temperature inside is very high. The fatigue factor, concentration factor is Cartwright.
And
Eventually,
again, Michael Jordan comes up hobbling.
well, earlier in the game, he had stepped on Buck Williams' ankle. And now here, as he fights for the offensive rebound, again, coming down, and those players on the other team just keep sticking their feet on it.
Worth off the board. Here's Porter leading Drexler.
Contact. Porter knows that Drexler's streaking down the other end of the floor. Then it's a matter of laying it up there, and Clyde's going to get it for you.
Drexler for Kersey. From the floor here in the third quarter, Blazers on a 14-4 run. Michael Jordan is 7 of 11. He has 14 by 7.
Well, 4 minutes had gone by in this quarter. Jordan had taken no shots, so that's how the game going.
Clyde Drexler with 20 points on 8. Foul committed. Duckworth rolling in. Shot clock at 5. Jordan. Michael Jordan going right at Buck Williams.
It's when he takes it to the basket and he gets the opportunities.
And a technical foul called on Phil Jackson.
Going into the games, coaches know what crews are working the games and what you can get away with and not get away with different people on the floor. Earlier in the game, we have referred to the fact that Rick Adelman told Jerome Kersey, settle down, knowing that there are a couple of...
Robinson to the open floor, try to give it back. Recovered by Drexler. Here's Jordan.
Made the call on the baseline. Felt that Porter jumped into the defensive player, initiating the contact.
Here's Pippen. Scotty Pippen getting 5 minutes remaining in the third. Drexler hitting the bottom of the net, but it's rescued by Porter. Here's Kersey. Yes. Only throughout the summer took 500 jump shots a day, and the improvement did show up. Michael Jordan with 18 points. The Bulls lead 64.
Keeps his eyes on the front of the rim, knows right, knows left, elevate, gets a look, and then makes a right decision.
Timeout taken by the Blazers. Well, there's been so much discussion concern. And Jordan hit on the way up by Drexler. Let's go to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, here is my best Willard Scott impression. You've been talking about the heat in here. It is 75
Memorial Coliseum. That was a non-shooting foul called on Drexler. Grant got the position, and he's given the ball. Lost it out of bounds. He kicked at the ball. It lands in the stands. That would be a traveling violation.
And Michael Jordan pointed over towards the Portland bench as if to say, don't let you call the basketball game. Don't let them determine where the travel is.
Shuffle of the feet. Going for a hold. That is his third foul. It is a non-shooting foul. Bobby Hansen barreling off the bench to check in, not wasting any time on that dead ball, and he replaces Scottie Pippen. Pass broken up by Jordan. Michael Jordan whipping off to John Paxson. He finds the open Hansen. That was stopped by Robinson, got a piece of it. Jordan on the recovery, 10 on the shot clock. Hansen is open. Yes, another three for Bobby Hansen. He did it in the third quarter in Chicago on Friday.
Think about that. You come off
to stop the Portland drive, and Bobby Hansen, who is shooting just under 49% from three-point range in the third.
bench guard Drexler. It doesn't matter. The fact is that you get to stop the clock and put some points on the board. You get away from the perimeter shots game taken after the timeout by the Trailblazers.
Bill Cartwright just picked up his 4th, so he'll be replaced by Scott Williams.
Another factor for going down low inside. You put
by Drexler, who hit 10 of 10 from the line in game 2, has connected on 4 of 4 here this evening. 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. Chicago with a 10-point lead. Jordan going left.
When Jordan turns the corner, he's probably saying that Drexler's right behind me trying to block it. Clyde never went for the block. Jordan kept...
17th turnover for Portland. Chicago with only 9. A.J. Armstrong has checked back in. Enos Watley on the floor.
And now Phil Jackson taking Jordan out of the spot of being a creator, perhaps concerned about the fatigue and the fact he's not finishing, as you just mentioned. And now that goes to Scottie Pippen to make something happen, whether they give him a screen or isolate and clear the side of the floor. Right now, the isolation.
Final seconds of the 3rd. Pippen was stripped. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter. It's the Bulls 70, the Blazers 60. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
Great-tasting ballpark defense. The hot dog's hot dog club and is good.
Armstrong and Hansen in the backcourt. Scott Williams with a pretty backdoor feed for fouls. And Watley turned it over again. Here's Armstrong.
There you go.
For motivation for his ball club.
No, some things you just move on, move past because you know you can't do a whole lot about it. That's just the way it is.
Chicago has a 14-point lead. 2 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. We're seeing the tip. The steal by Robinson. 4 charged to Pippen.
The offensive foul is called with the elbow as Pippen's going down. Kersey gets in his way, takes away. Tough call.
Here they go again, this time Duckworth.
Productivity and cohesiveness. You got Hansen, who is now on his way out with Pippen coming back in. And I think Phil Jackson saw the same thing. Too many parts that normally aren't.
So the ball goes back to Portland.
Chicago will have to double team back down low to get the ball out of Duckworth's hands. Well, when that takes place, now you'll see Porter and Drexler get back behind the three-point line and start knocking down the three-pointers if they're wide open.
Horace Grant has come back, replacing Scott Williams. 7:20 to go in this 4th quarter. Here's Duckworth, blocked by Grant. Horace Grant had 5 blocked shots in game 2 on Friday. That's his second.
The exact same rotation that Grant just did not quite get to at the end.
Foul was called on Scott Williams. Rashad. That last foul was charged to Buck Williams, not Scott Williams. So Buck Williams has collected his 4th as you check out the foul difficulty 4-apiece on Duckworth and Buck Williams. Bill Cartwright is first time.
He was up with a couple big rebounds, nice outlet pass, the small things.
Here's Jordan. Michael Shaw. And that is greeted by the sardonic.
He had 4 or 5 fouls on him, but no, he's very, very basketball smart crowd here in Portland. These people appreciate the game. They know the game. And in fact, they appreciate the play of the visiting team as well as the home team throughout the entire
season. The introduction of the lineups, they applaud the visitors. 3 time remaining in the 4th. Here's Jordan. Michael Jordan with 20.
When Jordan turned the corner and short-armed the layup attempt after he passed Drexler. This time, he turns the corner on Buck, and now the concentration and explosion, and there's the strong extension for the two.
Phil Jackson, timeout. 4:44 remaining in the fourth. Portland, Chicago with an 8-point lead as we wind down in the fourth quarter. In some ways, players are more comfortable on the road as opposed to playing at home.
Point Scotty standing there out of bounds with no outlets.
Back to the road story for Chicago. They are an excellent ball club, a team that won 67 games during the regular season, and they have the best road record in the league at 31
Timeout. We
and
saw
10.
Jackson talking to Grant in the timeout. Grant was the outlet pass to get the ball inbounds.
Michael Jordan. Rebound, Stacey King. King with the box out. Free throw shooter.
And you now have 3 3-point shooters on the floor for the Portland Trailblazers.
Out has done a nice job. Ainge for 3. And he was open. Rebound comes to Kersey. Game 3 of the best of 7. The series tied at 1. Game 4 here in Portland on Wednesday. We'll have it for you on NBC starting at 9 Eastern Time, 6 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. And Stacey King has 8 points.
You let Stacey King get that low on the right block. And a steal by Paxson as he stepped up in the passing lane.
John Paxson with the steal, providing a 14-point Chicago lead. And Rick Adelman takes a timeout.
Normally associated with Pippen or Jordan. This time it happens to be John Paxson who makes the big defensive play for the Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls with a center with Bill Cartwright out with that broken left hand, and he had some strong game. Yes, it does. It's a goaltend. No, wait a moment. One official said yes, and the other said no.
And the Trailblazers wanted the call, but you can block it to the backboard. You're allowed to do that. If it's on the glass and you touch it, no good. But they have the ball trap trying to make Chicago take a forced or hurried shot, but too much poise by Paxson that time.
And Jordan was hit. Michael Jordan to the line for the first time tonight. Drexler called for his 4th. And while we have an opportunity here with Michael Jordan going to the line, we'd like to wish our NBC Sports colleague Bill Parcells the very best. Bill recovering from heart bypass surgery, and we're told coming along very well. Bill, as you know, is an avid basketball fan, although he did tell me privately that you have been getting on his nerves.
He also told me, by the way, that he has stumped you quite a few times in trivia questions dealing with NBA players, statistics, past games.
Goes back to early 50s. After that, there seems to be a block in his head. It all comes out as football for some reason. The steal by Paxson. And Drexler will go to the line.
Michael Jordan,
now committed by Jordan. That is his 3rd.
That little conversation there between Jordan and Buck Williams in the air. Buck gave him a nice little shot, a little message, reminding him, don't come down here driving the lane trying to get...
Mike, you look back to what took place Friday night in Chicago.
Tex Winter, the assistant coach for the Chicago Bulls, charts possessions for the other team, and that is obviously a very, very high statistic.
Shot clock at 5. Down to 3. Here's Jordan. Paxson got back.
Excellent job of transition defense by Chicago.
Drexler. So the Bulls now lead 86-70 man. And once again, they spread it out. Well, Scott Williams and Michael Jordan learning the spread of the 4 corners from Dean Smith at North Carolina. Grant wide open.
Jerome Kersey just left his man, ran across the floor, extended all the way out 22, 24 feet from the basket, a double team. Nobody rotated to protect the rim.
Timeout called by the Blazers with 1:06 to go.
All right, Marvin, Mike, you got
tonight has been very poor. They have had long drought periods. On a couple occasions, they missed 7 in a row. They see 36% for the game. The Bulls at 47. Buck Williams called for his 4th quarter, an NBA final record low with the two teams combining for 31 points. Portland had 15. 4th quarter, the Blazers have managed only 16 points. So, on a night that has seen Michael Jordan have just an ordinary performance, the Bulls have gotten help from other quarters. Scottie Pippen, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Horace Grant, 18 points, 8 rebounds.
Michael Jordan's
foul committed by Jordan.
And who knows, as here this afternoon, and a lot of catching up to do, a lot of people making phone calls. Did it break concentration? Did it have an effect emotionally?
So many things are said after games are lost. Jordan. What it comes down to is Chicago lead by 12. It'll go back to Portland. It's to 1. Crowd enjoying this best of 7 with game number 4 Wednesday night here in Portland. Rebounded by Buck Williams. Ames. 82. 7 seconds remaining. And Paxson. See, 6 o'clock. Check on the West Coast. Chicago and Portland. So the Bulls, 2 slip away, able to bounce back in very solid fashion here tonight. As Ainge works his way down. And that will do it. The Chicago Bulls have defeated the Portland Trailblazers by the score of 94-84. Portland shot only 26 of 78, 36% from the field.
Well, shot selection is one of the things, and then not too many turnovers forced by the Trailblazer defense. Those opportunities enable them to get out in the open floor and then do their transition game thing, which is one of their strong points for this basketball team.
Clyde Drexler, the high point man of the game, with 32. Michael Jordan had 26, 18 apiece for Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant. Again, the final, Chicago 94, Portland 84. Join us Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern for Game 4, with the Bulls up now 2 games.